Welcome in, everybody. Chip Brown here of horns247.com. Very excited to be talking to Texas tight end Spencer Shannon. Now, you may not have seen Spencer Shannon a ton on the field, but I have in fall camp this year. This kid is 6'7", 255 pounds, and he is the next big tight end, literally big tight end for the Texas Longhorns. Spencer, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to have you on. First of all, we're in the dog days of fall camp here. So how
Yeah,
you
yes, sir.
holding up? How you holding up?
Holding up great. Just body feels pretty good. Doing a bunch of recovery day right now. So just getting after it.
All right, you're coming off of a scrimmage number 2 of fall camp.
Yeah, yes,
What can you
sir.
tell us about that scrimmage? How to go? How to go for you? How to go for the team?
I think it went well. For the team, from a team aspect, I think we're coming along. I think everybody's starting to find their roles and figure out what everybody's going to be doing for the team this year. And I think, it's a great group of guys. So I think everybody's bought in, and we're all committed to that goal, you know?
Well, talk about your room because you've got
Yeah.
Gunnar Helm. He's a senior.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I think you're the next Gunnar Helm.
Thank you.
But tell us about that room because you bring in Amari Nyblack from Alabama. You got Juan Davis, who's also a senior.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Washington's a young
Yeah.
guy. Will Randall, tell us about that room.
I mean, you really couldn't ask for a better group of guys. Especially with Gunner there leading it, with all his experience and just being a good he's always a good example for everybody. He's always like the first one in, last one out, hardest worker, you know. And then Amari's been a great addition to the room. He's uh he's a good guy, just he's fun to have in the room. And then Juan's Juan has a lot of knowledge too that I like love to ask him about like certain plays and stuff. Like if I'm not understanding, Juan's always a good guy to go to check and make sure I understood that right. And then yeah, Jay Wash and Randall are both awesome. Couldn't ask for better young guys to be coming up with. So
Who's got the best? Who's the funniest guy in that room?
ooh, I probably have to give it to Amari.
Why?
Yeah. He's just he's a little jokester. He's good at impressions.
Who does
It's
who's
always
what's the best impression that he does?
you can do a pretty good Coach Banks impression. Yeah,
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 Coach Banks is intense, right?
yeah. Coach Banks is intense, but at the end of the day, he always wants what's best for us, and he lets us know. You know,
Okay, can you do an impression of Amari doing an impression of Coach Banks?
I mean, I don't know if I can. I feel like it'd be a disservice. It'd be a disservice to his impression.
Okay, well, tell us. Okay, you come from Modern Day, which is a big time program there in Southern California,
Hmm.
legendary program. Um, Talk about the recruitment process for you and why who it came down to and why you
Hmm.
chose Texas.
Yeah, so I got the Texas offer my junior year, and you know, at that point, I was thinking probably between Utah, UCLA, or Washington, and then I got the Texas offer, and that had been like a dream school of mine since I was a kid, just because my mom grew up here in Texas, and I was born here before we moved to California, so just like being able to come back to Texas and like be surrounded by all my mom's brothers and sisters and my dad's friends from college and all that stuff, like it's a good atmosphere. That played a big role into it. So just having family here, and then on top of that, being able to be in a program that really emphasizes um, like the like providing to the, or how do I say this, um, all striving for the same common goal, and everybody trying to get better and better themselves, better each other, and it just felt like a family here.
And plus, Sarkeesian's offense really
Yeah,
relies on the tight ends. I mean,
yeah,
a lot of his stuff is two tight ends.
yeah, yes, sir. I
So,
mean, that's a huge factor. I mean, being able to run two tight ends here is like amazing because it's like you may not be that guy at that point, but you may not be the main guy at that point in your college career, but you could still be that 12 personnel tight end or still play a role on the team, you know?
we'll talk about your growth. You know,
Hmm.
you're a redshirt freshman,
Yeah, yes, sir.
so that first year in the program can be tough, especially when you're redshirting because you don't quite see the road yet. But
Hmm.
talk about where your game has really progressed and how you've grown.
I feel like my redshirt year like played a tremendous role in my growth just because I feel like I learned so much more about blocking and pass catching, just like being here and learning from the guys ahead of me, and then on top of that, being able to run scout team last year against the ones and twos, just like really helped like push me along. I feel like.
And that, I mean, people don't understand how important that
Hmm.
is. The scout team aspect of it. You're going up against starters, so
Yeah.
your game is progressing. I mean,
Hmm.
talk about the guys you were going up against,
Yeah.
and how they made you better.
Yeah. Just like being able to go against guys like Baron Sorrell and Ethan Burke and be able to try different things on them on scout team, like see what works, what doesn't work, just like kind of helped me add to like the moves and things I was able to do. Because when I came in, I was pretty raw and like didn't know a ton about technique stuff. So just being able to try the different techniques on those guys like really helped.
And last year you're in the same room with Jatavian Sanders,
Hmm.
and JT ends up, being a fourth round pick of the Carolina Panthers. What did you see from him? What did you pick up from him last year?
Um, the big thing JT like I picked up from JT was like work ethic and seeing how hard he pushed and like drove each day because he was always on it every day he came in. He was always locked in, always focused on what he had to do, even if like maybe he didn't sleep as many hours as he wanted to that night. Like he still found a way to push through and be the best he could be. You know.
Are y'all still in touch with him? Do
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah. Yes, sir.
how's
Here
it
and
going?
there.
How's it going for him?
He seems to be doing pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
and
We get sent some clips every now and then, so it's fun to watch those.
yeah, he and Jonathan Brooks are
Yeah.
both
Hmm.
with the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, so who is a player who could surprise this year in your opinion? Let's
Um.
do one on offense and one on defense.
All right. Let's see. It's a tough question.
And it's, probably someone who's not been in a featured role yet.
Hmm. I think in our room, definitely Juan Davis, just because he's had Gunner and JT in front of him, and now he like finally has his opportunity to kind of show what he can do. You know?
So he's making some plays in fall camp.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. He
Hmm.
can what do you like about his game? He's a like Banks said he'll knock the crap out of you in the A gap on a counter play, is what Banks said.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. I mean,
Okay.
he may not be the biggest guy in the room, but he will knock he will knock someone out, and there you go. Yeah, yes,
Okay.
sir.
Because he can catch too, right?
Yeah, he can really catch. Yeah, yes, sir. He's got great
Okay.
hands, great route running.
Okay. What about in the receiver room?
Um, I'd say probably Ryan Wingo would be a guy. I'd say is he's I mean he's a stud. Yeah, he's fast. He's got the size. He's got good hands. But
So
it's
he's
it's,
making
it's fun to
plays.
watch the kid. Yeah,
He's making plays in fall camp.
yeah, yes sir.
He's not backing down from anybody.
No, no sir.
Okay. What's his personality like?
He's a good kid. He's a pretty positive kid, and he's really driven. Yeah, yes sir.
All right. So you line up next to, and I'll get back to your surprise player on defense here in a second. But
Mhm.
you line up next to these offensive tackles.
Yeah.
Kelvin Banks, Cameron Williams.
Mhm.
What stands out about those guys?
Just I'd say the biggest thing is their consistency. I mean, they're just always on point, I feel like. And I know, like, if I have to double team with one of them, I know, like, it's gonna be good as long as I do my part, because I know for a fact they'll do their part. So, like, it just brings, like a comfortability aspect to it. Hmm. And
And
they're just
what about some of
monsters.
the guys behind them, like Trevor Gooseby
Yeah.
and Kojo and Brandon Baker?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I feel like our line room is really deep right now, and I feel like we got a lot of good young guys coming up behind these guys. So I think we're in a good spot right now. Yes, sir.
Okay, so lot of people have been talking about Trey Moore, Colin Simmons.
Hmm.
They didn't get to see much in the spring game of those guys, a little bit, but
Hmm.
what how do you describe like let's start with Trey Moore. What sets him apart?
Um, I'd say Trey's just super quick twitch. Like, he's just like it's not like he's not just quick twitch, but he's also super strong. So it's like he's a good combination of like he's like a good combination for that edge rushing role, and he's able to drop and do all the other stuff too. So I feel like
Yeah,
Trey's been a great addition.
someone was
Yeah.
talking about him putting some serious weight up in the weight room, like over 400 pounds in the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah. Something like that. Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's got that strength.
Hmm.
And then what about Colin Simmons, the 5-star freshman?
I'd say he's similar. Yeah. Yes, sir. I'd say similar, similar, similar kind of. He's quick twitch, but he's also strong, and he's able to push some weight in the weight room, and strong on the field too. So yes, sir.
Okay. What about okay, so I need you to brag on yourself a little bit right now, Spencer.
Yes, sir.
What's been like one of the best plays or practices you've had where Banks was like, "All right, Shannon, you know what you're doing out here."
I feel like probably this past week, towards the end of this past week, I feel like I started to like kind of understand the footwork like way better than I have in the past, and I feel like from that aspect of my game, I feel like I kind of stepped it up this week. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's get back to your defensive player who could surprise this year.
Oh, that one's. I'd probably say Trey. Yeah, yes, sir.
Trey Moore.
Yeah, Trey Moore.
Okay.
Hmm.
So this is real. Like he came from the group of 5. He played at
Hmm.
UTSA, but his play is going to translate to
Hmm.
the
Yes, sir.
SEC.
Yes, sir.
What's the mindset of the team, Spencer? As you go into the SEC, and kind of what's Sark saying to you guys about it?
Um, I'd say the biggest thing is like obsession and being obsessed with our goal of going into the SEC and winning games this year, and just making sure we're all on that same page and equally as obsessed, because with a bunch of obsessed guys, like that level of obsession is going to drive us to where we want to go and the things we want to do.
And for you, do you
Hmm.
model your game after anyone? any tight ends you've watched?
hmm I mean, I try to model it off of Gunner, and then also I like to think one day I might be able to model it off of like Gronk or someone like that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, hell
hmm
yeah. You got the length, you got the pass catching ability. Do you watch clips of Gronk or
Yeah,
anything?
yeah, yes, sir. I watch a lot of Gronk clips, and then some of his blocking stuff too. Yes, sir.
And what's the everyone, talks about the culture of a
hmm
program. And I know y'all are going through your culture Wednesdays. How would you describe the culture this year as compared to last year?
I feel like last year's culture was really, really good, but I mean, this year I feel like it's on a like different level. I feel like everyone's really bought in and bought into the culture and what we want to do and accomplish. So I think this year we've definitely elevated our culture for sure, just through our meetings and all that stuff. Yeah, yes, sir.
And obviously you're in the huddles with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning and
hmm
Trey Owens. How have you seen, let's start with Quinn. How have you seen Quinn grow?
I mean, I feel like he's in a really good spot. He's like, I feel like he's just like more locked in than even last year, and he was super locked in last year. Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
Arch, you came in with Arch.
hmm Yeah.
How have you seen him grow? Is he hanging on to his student ID and all that stuff?
Yes, sir. He's hanging out to his student ID. Yeah, but no, Arch is doing well. Yes, sir.
And what's he like, Spencer? So, people
hmm
talk about him, but he what's he like when you're just hanging out?
I mean, he's a good guy. Like, he's a good dude to hang around. Just fun. He's fun. He's nice. Like, I mean, he's just like your typical guy, you know? Just like good dude. Like, good dude to have like around the locker room. Good dude to have as a friend outside of football. You know? Yeah,
And
yes, sir.
what about Trey Owens? Because he showed out in the spring game.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think Trey's coming along. Yes, sir. He's I think he's starting to get the offense down more and more. You know, I mean, it's a big offense. So
Okay, so I know there's been some injuries in the running back room, um,
Mhm.
but Jaden Blue, Trey Wisner, what are you seeing from those two guys?
I think just like I think from the two of them, just like a like an elevated level of like intensity to kind of step up and do and fulfill the roles they need to fulfill. You know, yes, sir.
And I guess Colin Page,
hmm
walk on,
Yes, sir.
has been getting some run in these last couple scrimmages. What are we seeing from Colin Page from right here in Austin, Texas?
Yeah, Colin's doing a great job. Just he's been doing real well. Just balling out. You know, doing his thing. Yes, sir.
What's the best catch you've seen so far in camp?
Ooh, there's a lot. I'd probably say there was one the other day that Silas like jumped in the air, Silas Bolden, and he jumped in the air and caught it. Like he was probably like 4 feet in the air, caught that ball and landed flat on his back. I was like, dang.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
it's,
so Silas Bolden, I mean, he's
Mhm.
they called him the Beaver joystick at Oregon State, which is kind of an interesting nickname. But
Yeah,
could he be the Longhorn joystick in 2020?
potentially. Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, he's really good. Yeah, really fast. Just good kid, and he's driven. Yeah, yes, sir.
All right.
hmm
Okay, so you're from sunny Southern California where
hmm
it's 77 degrees every single day, Spencer? I don't know. How you dealing with this heat, this Texas heat?
I don't mind it. You know, it doesn't affect me too much, especially now. I've been here for a year, so it's not that bad. And then I came out pretty much every other year for Christmases, and then other times for baseball camp, just to visit family or do baseball camps and stuff like that. Yeah, so the
Okay,
heat
so
doesn't bother me too much.
so you have family in Austin?
No, I have family in Houston, and then um, my dad's like best friends from dental school in Houston live in Austin, so they're kind of like my second family here. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So you're not completely on your own.
No, yeah. I mean, it's been a great help. Yeah, just having like family around. Yes, sir.
So when you're like, I mean, next year Gunnar Helm's gone and Spencer Shannon's probably the primary inline blocker. Is that how you're looking at it? How do you keep, yourself engaged and
hmm I'm just looking at it just from a standpoint of just making sure my game's where I want it to be at whatever point that is. Like after the season, I just want to be able to be comfortable with saying that I've put in enough work and I think that my game is where it should be, and I think that I think that like just to keep me like narrowed in on that goal, it's just following Gunner's footsteps and trying to be as perfect in practice as Gunner does, like with all technique and assignment alignment, all that stuff. Yes, sir.
yeah, I mean that's and players want to play in
hmm
Steve Sarkisian's offense, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean,
hmm
that's why Silas came in and Matthew
Yeah.
Golden and Isaiah Bond
Yes, sir. Yes,
because they know
sir.
there's opportunity.
hmm Definitely.
That fair?
Yeah. Definitely fair. Yes, sir.
Okay, so are you have you been like did you help recruit Brandon Baker from
I
Texas,
mean,
another California kid?
I wouldn't say uh, helped, but I mean, definitely. I think we've been friends for a while, so just I think friendly faces is always a good thing when you're coming to a new place, and I feel like just having him around here too is awesome. Yeah, yes, sir.
And how's he doing?
It's doing good. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right.
hmm
All right.
Yes, sir.
So Spencer, I know you're probably going 100 miles an hour, but
Yeah.
what do you do for fun? Like when you just want to kind of unwind from everything, what do you like to do?
Um, I like to go float the river every now and then whenever I get a chance, and then more commonly, I'll usually just lay around, watch a little TV or some movies.
Yeah.
Yes,
When
sir.
does school start?
School starts next Monday.
Okay.
hmm
Okay. So then it's on.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Well,
That's
listen, Spencer, really, really appreciate your time today. And best of luck with everything. I know people are excited to see big number 83 out there on the field and keep up the good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for
Spencer
having me.
Shannon, ladies and gentlemen.